Coming up on Showcase Minnesota, he's the all-American dad. The hilarious Bill Engvall tells us about the upcoming season of his hit TV show. Plus, the Hogwarts heavyweights are back. We'll get a review of Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. And a cut above the rest, we're in the Showcase kitchen with a filet recipe from 7 Steakhouse. Showcase Minnesota starts right now. No charge for that advice. Oh, hi there. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Showcase Minnesota. I'm Rob.
I'm Corbin Sykes.
Yeah, yes, you are, Corbin. All day.
All day. And talking about being Rob, we have to touch on this. Have you heard about
being Rob? It's like being John Malkovich.
That's right. Upon becoming Rob Hudson.
Oh, it's a curse.
That they've come out with a list. They have come out with a list. The Social Science Quarterly of 10 boys' names that are more likely to, if you have those boys' names, you're more likely to go to jail.
Bad. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, to go bad. Okay.
Do not pass go. Yeah. Do not collect $200.
Rob was on there?
No.
Do you think Rob was on there?
No, it's angelic.
All right, let's see what's on there. Alec. I always think of Alec Baldwin. I can't think of anybody else. Alec Baldwin.
Alec is a bad boy name?
Ernest,
come on.
Garland. Ivan.
Ivan's kind of like rough.
Kareem. Luke, Malcolm, Preston, Tyrell, and Walter. Really a mixed bag there.
Walter?
And they say that giving newborn males oddball, girly, or strange first names may just help them land in jail.
Let me see.
Like Sue.
Let's see you do girly with finger quotes.
Girly?
Yeah. What is a girly boy name?
Sue. Well,
yeah, Johnny
Garland
Cash.
is a little, sorry for the Garlands out there, but I mean something that's a little more, could go either way. I mean, I guess Corbin could be one because it could be a man's name. And, you know, Corbin Burns.
You think that holds weight? Really?
Well, this guy's scientific. I mean, it's got to be true. He says it's got to be true here. New study. Play it safe with your baby's names or you may not be doing them a favor.
You know what? Yeah, if you give them a name that they're going to get razzed on the playground or at school every day. Well, that was part of it.
They said they have a lifetime of being razzed, and it makes them mad. And then they do things that aren't nice.
Mean babies.
Makes them mean babies.
Hey, we didn't mention yesterday because they were just coming out, but the Emmy nominations have been announced, and 30 Rock broke a record with 22 nominations. Way to go, 30 Rock. Yeah, who doesn't love 30 Rock?
I love that show.
It is hilarious.
You never know what's going to come up next. It's just crazy.
Yeah. And you know, I mean, Alec Baldwin, how money is this guy? Remember that commercial he did for the Super Bowl, that Hulu commercial? Do you remember that one where the monster comes out?
Oh, yeah. They still play those, yeah.
Got an Emmy nomination for it. Everything, I mean, he's the guy right now, everything he touches turns gold.
So maybe you should
Baldwin.
name him Alec.
Yeah, really, there you go. Not so bad, not so bad. Got a great show for you today. 7 Steakhouses here. We're cooking a filet mignon, kind of an Asian fusion, I guess. Guy, is that what we're doing? Asian fusion?
Asian fusion?
Yes, wonderful. It's going to be good. You like filet? It's one of my favorite cuts.
It's the one I order. It's always the one I order. I like the petite filet.
You know what?
Just enough.
What's the opposite of petite?
Giant.
Giant? Mongo?
Unpetite.
Unpetite. I like the unpetite cut. Bill Engvall is here, too. We're going to talk to him about the third season of the Bill Engvall Show. He was on Conan last week. Really funny. I'm going to ask him about that.
Right, and Aquatennial, 70th annual Aquatennial. So we're going to find out all about what's going on there and what you can get in on.
You got your long johns on today? Wow, is it cold out?
Your beeswax. We got to move along.
I'm going to find this out.
Okay, in just a moment, a fresh take on Savory Steak. But first, a look at what's coming up today on Rachel Ray. They have lace on there.
It's TV's most addictive show.
This is really random, but are you on Gossip Girl?
Now, star Jessica Zor gives up the dirt on kissing uber hottie Chase Crawford.
I was not complaining when I had to kiss him.
And the man behind the fashion shows how you can get that Gossip Girl look for less.
Adorable. She looks fabulous.
Then, oh yes, they're back.
That's not a good shirt to wear.
And look who's playing mama to these outrageous baby animals.
Watch Rachel Ray every afternoon at 2 here on KARE 11. Now over to Rob for more in the show.
All right, thanks a lot, Corbin. Starting things off this morning, cooking with the king of all cuts. 7, the Steakhouse, is known for their sleek ambiance in the heart of Minneapolis, and of course, their savory steak fillets. And here with one of their signature recipes is executive chef Guy Kambansuk. Thank you so much. We'll just call you Chef Guy. Is that cool?
That's great.
Well, tell us about 7. You know, you hear a lot about it. I have yet to come down there to visit you and try the filet. What's the ambiance like? And tell me a little bit more about the menu.
7 Steakhouse. It's a smart place, a casual place, great place.
A smart place?
Smart place.
What makes it a smart place?
It's everything. It's
Okay.
what it is. It's there's something there for everyone.
You got a really cool patio, I understand, too.
Patio, the rooftop. That's a great place.
With full service out there?
Full
So you
service.
can eat your meal. Beautiful July and August evenings coming up. What a great way to enjoy a meal down there.
Yes.
We're talking about fillets today. And
Yes.
is that really what you're known for, is the filet? Is that
The filet, what we use is certified Angus beef. And the one that we're prepared today is nori crusted with sesame seed and a little bit of miso.
Let me talk a little bit more. Let's touch on this. There's a great shot of it. I've tried to do this at home, and it looks like whenever I've tried it, I just do too much pepper. What else is in this rub, this coating?
It's salt, pepper, and we use pink peppercorn
Okay.
and green peppercorn.
Okay, are we going to have this on the website? We'll post
Yes.
this online so people.
Yes.
Because that looks like a great crust. Okay, now we are frying this on top of the stove in a pan. Is this how you do it at the restaurant?
Sauteed.
You saute.
We'll
Okay.
kind of sear it real quick, and the reason why we wanted to sear it because you want to seal the juice inside and build
Okay.
up the crust.
That's one problem I've had also with doing a filet on the grill, is that I dry it out. I overcook it.
Well,
What's the big tip here?
the big tip here, you know, being a filet mignon, it's very tender, and you want to keep all that juice right inside. It's a very specific cut.
Now you talk about fusion. What you're doing an Asian fusion with a steak. What's your twist on it? What makes it Asian?
What makes it Asian?
Yeah.
The ingredients that we use with the miso, the nori, which is like a dry roasted seaweed,
Okay.
and up in the second level, we do have the steakhouse.
Oh, very nice.
Yes,
Very
and
nice.
you can get steak and sushi at either restaurant.
That is very nice.
So.
Very nice. All right. So then, how long do you sear this for?
We sear it about 3 to 4 minutes on each side, and these are the final product
Well,
here.
while this is cooking, I tell you what, let's walk through. You brought some other dishes with you today, okay?
Yes.
Let's go through that. And right down here, let's start at the end. It looks like your
we have
take on the shrimp
traditional
cocktail.
shrimp cocktail.
That's anything but traditional. Come on, Guy. Those
Well,
things,
you have the
those aren't
traditional
prawns?
cocktails. These are bigger prawns. We use
Okay.
810s.
Those are giant. I can't see anyone being able to order an entree after having this as an appetizer. Wow, that is beautiful. Okay, and then right next to it.
And right next to it, we have seared ahi tuna, which is sesame crusted.
Okay,
And we use a little bit of wasabi aioli.
let's talk about the presentation here. What's going on over here?
Just a little bit of mixed greens. We use carrots and seaweed slow.
And then, like you said, the wasabi.
Wasabi,
Sauce right there.
yes.
Beautiful. And then looks
And
like
that's the lamb rack, mashed
Okay.
potatoes, and house vegetable.
very good. Okay, we're frying away. I just saw you put something on top of that
Yes,
fillet there.
the filet mignon is nori crusted with wasabi butter.
Okay, all right. Let's keep on cooking. What's going on over here?
So it's about 2 to 3 minutes on each side. We're gonna
Oh,
flip
wow.
it over and let
Nice.
it sear and see
Nice.
how you develop the
Let
nice
me see
crust.
those tongs. I want to
Yes.
feel for myself that crust you got there.
Yes,
Okay,
it's a
all
nice,
right.
good crust, and what it does is just keep the moisture inside.
Okay, I want to ask you also, while this is cooking, you also have 7 sushi down there. So you got the
Yes.
sushi and the steakhouse.
Yes.
Is your specialty the red meat? Is that what you do? Are you also a sushi chef?
No, I'm not a sushi chef. I specialize what's happening in the steakhouse.
How did you ever get into this line of work and not go the sushi route?
I have done sushi in the past.
Uh-huh.
My background is mainly fusion, which I've done Italian, French, and traditional American cooking.
Well, what else is on the menu down there at 7 then, besides
7
the steaks?
Steakhouse. We also do the sushi. You could get it downstairs while you have the steak.
Is everything on the menu fusion?
Not everything. It's traditional classic steakhouse with just a little bit of Asian fusion
Okay,
twist to it.
very cool. How about hours? What do you have? Are you closed
Our
any?
hours, we don't open for lunch.
Okay.
Our hours, we open up from 3 p.m. until the last customer leaves.
Good to know. Full bar service?
Full bar service.
And your location?
Location is 700 on 7th off of 7th and Hennepin.
Beautiful. Wonderful. Thank you so much for coming down here. This is great. This is great. Now, how long? Oh, it's got a little bit to go, doesn't it?
Yes.
Guy, come back again. Love it. Love it. You can have
Thank
your
you.
tongs back, too. Great job. For a copy of today's recipe, send a self-addressed stamped envelope to the address on your screen, or you can log on to our website, showcaseminnesota.com. Search under the main dish category. That smells so good, man. Awesome. For more great recipes, check out 7 The Steakhouse. It's located off Hennepin Avenue in Minneapolis. For more information, call 612-238-7770. There's much more ahead this Friday morning. Coming up, movie magic hits the box office. We're going to get reviews of Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince and more. Plus, hooking up the fun, more on how you can go fishing for free at our state parks. That's right. And later, strumming sounds to start your weekend. Days of Rave with Wong Forest, so please stick around.
I imagine, baby, what you must think of me, what kind of ease you vilify me.
Always good.
Yeah,
It's always
tender, a lot of flavor.
Well, the world's favorite wizard has once again cast a spell over moviegoers. Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince opened this past Wednesday, and of course, it sold out theaters. Yet, will it do the trick for fans? Film critic Linda Thomas is here with her review of that and more. Hi, Linda.
Hi.
Now, did you preview Harry Potter?
I did.
You got to preview it. You didn't.
Absolutely.
Even the critics they didn't have to wait, which sometimes you never know with a big film like that. So, what did you think?
I liked it. I thought it was a lot of fun. You know, they're teenagers now. They've been growing up before our eyes, which is kind of fun, all 3 of them. So they're getting more involved in solving the problems in what's going on in the wizard's world. Let's take a look.
The other day I was in the library in the restricted section and I came across something rather odd about a very rare piece of magic. But it just got me wondering, are there some kinds of magic you're not allowed to teach us?
I think your question's better be posed to Professor Snape.
Yes. He and I don't exactly see eye to eye, sir. What I mean to say is, well, he's not like you. You might misunderstand.
So we have a new teacher. That was Jim Broadbent. He's Professor Slughorn. How'd you like a name like that?
I wouldn't like to be Mrs. Slughorn.
No.
I know that.
I don't think so. They're teenagers. There's a little more romance, and of course, as teenagers, we don't know what's going on. They don't know what's going on, what's going to happen. Voldemort is back. We get a little back history on him. I thought it was a little more amusing on the one hand, but on the other hand, it's also dark. I think most people have read, we lose a character, and we find out more about Voldemort. The clouds are rumbling. The Death Eaters are coming out of the sky. I think he's a Death Eater. And all kinds of fun stuff is going on. It's rated PG, and I guess I felt like it's a little scary. It's rated PG, but remember, don't take unless you know they've read the books and you know they won't get too scared. I wouldn't take a 6-year-old, and certainly not any younger than that. I would say generally maybe 8 to 10 and above.
And
but
even a little guarded then. Like that's the one thing anyone who's seen it has said to me, is that it's scary.
Yeah, it is scary. You know your child. I gave it a 4 and only a 3 for the kid quotient, just because you know your child. Be cautious if you're going to take a young child, or if they tend to have nightmares. But it's a lot of fun. It's a blockbuster already.
Yeah,
so.
There's plenty of time. Okay, the film Tetro, Francis Ford Coppola. What's that about?
This is his first film that he has written, produced, and directed since The Conversation, I think, back in the 30s. It's a family saga. Younger brother goes in search of his older brother, who kind of took off and disappeared 9 years earlier. Let's take a look.
People around here don't know much about me. Miranda doesn't even know who our father is. I'd like to keep it that way.
I don't care, yeah.
What?
It's gonna be kind of hard to have a conversation if I can't ask any questions.
And who wants a conversation?
Now doesn't he remind you of Leonardo DiCaprio?
Yeah, he does.
In his youth, Alden Ehrenreich, the brother, is played by Vincent Gallo. Very intense. We can see by his eyes right now. It's a good movie. I was enjoying some of the dialogue. He was supposed to be a fabulous writer, and he never fulfilled his promise. The brother comes and wants to get to know him because he looks up to him. The one thing, I found the ending overly dramatic, and I knew what it was kind of before I got there. So they seem to be making much ado about nothing, I guess. When I got to the end, it was a little slow. I enjoyed it. I only gave it a 2.5. And not for kids.
No.
Definitely not for kids.
Very, very artistic.
Very artistic.
In its point
yes.
of view, it looks like. Okay, also out today is a film called Treeless Mountain.
I'm sure nobody has heard of this film. It's in Korea. 2 young girls, their mother decides to go find her husband and leaves them with an aunt, so they're kind of on their own. Let's take a look.
좀 참아. 집에 와서. 손녀가. 어디? 내가 그래 늙어비나. 족한데 며칠만 좀 맡아달라 하니까 내가 맡아갈 거거든.
저도 뭐 먹을 거 좀 줘.
아니 말라고. 뭐 여기서 돈을 쓰노. 집에 가면 먹을 겐데.
And them, well, this is what the auntie is like. She's sitting there eating and drinking, and the kids are hungry, but she doesn't care. This film, it's a small independent film, and it's been nominated and won several international awards at film festivals. It's a little slow. It's just a nice, pretty story, and these 2 young girls do a lovely job with the acting and with their facial expressions. Mom said she'd be back when their piggy bank was full, so they're frying grasshoppers to sell here.
That's what I thought those were. Oh,
yes.
So to eat?
To eat, yeah, to sell on the street and eat. So they're hoping Mom comes back. They're filling their piggy bank as best they know, and yet they're resilient to what's going on in their life.
It does sound kind of like a sweet story.
It is a very sweet story, and has a nice way of filling in an ending.
No,
they're resilient and,
yeah,
can kind of get along anywhere.
Yeah, okay. What kind of stars have we got here?
3.5 stars.
0 for kids.
0 for kids.
Even though it's about kids, it almost looked real. I mean, with the subtitle, something about it was so casual that it seemed like you're almost watching a documentary.
Well, it kind of is, and these little girls are walking around town and going shopping and basically taking care of themselves. They don't really have much of anybody. Their mother wasn't taking care of them very well, and now their aunt isn't, and they move on from there. But they find their way.
Well, it's good to see you again. Thanks for the update.
Good to see you.
And we'll probably be at the movies watching Harry Potter this weekend.
Yes, good. I hope you enjoy it.
We will. Straight ahead, catching up with Bill Engvall, the blue-collar alum, tells us about the 3rd season of his hit TBS show when we return.
Well, Ivan, in this season, we're going to deal with a lot of the issues that
Hey, Dad. Check it out. My friends and I found the perfect hotel for spring break. It's on the best beach in Cancun.
Wow, look at that white sand. Hey, you know what? I know it's uncool to take your parents with you, but it's different since your mom and I are still young and hip, right?
Okay, here's
And welcome back. He certainly puts a whole new spin on Father Knows Best. Comedian Bill Engvall is back for the third season for his hit TBS sitcom, The Bill Engvall Show. The series premieres tomorrow, and this morning Bill joins us live from New York to tell us more. Good morning, Bill. How are you doing?
Rob, I am doing great. How about yourself?
I'm doing fantastic. What is Bill Pearson up to for the third season?
Oh, you know, just trying to put out fires in the family, and we really, I got to tell you, we really hit our stride this season with these shows we tape for the third season. We're trying to really touch into the American family and dealing with stuff that people like families right there in Minneapolis are dealing with. You know, a tougher economy, money's not so tight. The little clip you just showed what it shows is that we have to tell her that she can't go on her spring break trip because we don't have the money.
Yeah.
And while we do it in a fun and light way, I mean, I think that's why the success of the show has been the way it is because we really do tell stories that people can sit and watch and go, oh man, our family did that, or dad did this, or mom did that. And it's one of these things that I really, I wish I wish you could be in my chair right now because I'm just so excited about the fact that I was able to live out a dream that I've had my whole life, and that was just to do a good old-fashioned family clean sitcom because that's what I grew up with. And I felt like they kind of went away for a little while, and I really wasn't sure why because you know, you turn on the channel and TV now, and it's just this guy shot that guy, these people are broke, this house burned down. And I thought, you know what? There ought to be a show where people can just go, you know what? I just want to laugh and see it, something that I can relate to. And I think we've done that.
Bill, do you really mean it? You wish I could be in your chair? That can be arranged because I'm looking for a break. That could be arranged.
Why would you want to leave Minneapolis? That's a great city.
Because I want to be Bill Engvall. Hey, I saw you, you know, before I want to talk about Conan if we have time. You were great on Conan last week, by the way.
Yeah.
But the Saturday night time slot, let's touch on that a little bit more. When I was growing up, you know, in the 70s, everything was on Saturday nights. And you're kind of going retro. You're bringing that back. It's a great night for family viewing.
Well, thank you. And I also grew up at the same time. You know, that was when the family got together to watch TV, and then it kind of went away. And this is where I love TBS because they're not scared to try stuff. And what they're creating is they're bringing back the family TV night, and it's Saturday night. They're going to have a family movie, and then there'll be the Bill Engvall show, and then another family movie. So it's a great chance to reconnect with your family. I think that's one of the little problems we've had in this country is that with the advent of, PlayStations and Xbox and Twitter and Facebook, the family just kind of goes and does their own thing. And I'm like you. I remember sitting around with my family, and Mom would pop a big bag of popcorn, and we'd all sit there and watch, the Saturday night shows.
Hee-haw and Lawrence Welk. That's what it was at our house anyway. Hey, let's talk about Conan. We got less than a minute here, but you were great. You told a really funny story about your plane and a deer, and you brought your wife into it. I got to ask you, are you still sleeping on the couch?
No, I've gotten a reprieve. I'm back in the bed now.
What did she say?
Yeah, Conan was a blast.
Was your wife upset when you told that story? It was really funny.
No, listen, my wife enjoys the perks of the business, so she knows not to kill the golden goose.
That's right.
But yeah, it was interesting when I was doing Conan. It hit me when I was sitting there talking to him that I've done the Tonight Show with 3 different hosts. I did it with Johnny, with Jay, and now with Conan.
You're too young. You did it with Johnny Carson?
Yeah,
that's amazing. Because I was going to ask you.
I did it the year before he retired.
I had no idea. I was going to ask you, and we're running out of time. But you were a little older when you made it, weren't you? I mean, because you were a DJ in Dallas when you really, got.
Thank God I got the success later in life, because if this had happened when I was in my 20s, trust me, Rob, I would have screwed this up big time.
Well, Bill, I'm serious. I'm 44. It's my turn. I need you. I'm waiting.
All right, maybe maybe this next season we'll write in a wacky neighbor or something.
Perfect. I don't want to be typecast though. It's too close home. Bill, thank you very much.
No.
I love your show. Our family loves
Rob.
your show. We love you here in Minneapolis. Come by sometime in person. Love to talk to you again.
I will. Take care of yourself, bud.
You bet, Bill. The 3rd season of The Bill Engvall Show premieres this Saturday, July 18th at 8 p.m. on TBS. Check your local listings for more information or visit showcaseminnesota.com. How about that? Sucking up to Bill Engvall on live TV, Corbin. Wow. Coming up next, 70 years of the best days of summer, a preview of this year's Minneapolis Aquatennial, plus fish for free with your family. That's right. We'll find out where you can catch some fun at our state parks. And later, Days of Ray performs for us live, so please stick around. Showcase rolls on.
Come this far without you. We've been worlds apart so far, so what's the difference anymore?
Welcome back to the show. Casting a line at a Minnesota state park has just gotten a whole lot easier. You can fish for free at state parks. It started back on July 1st. And here to tell us more is the DNR's Pat Arndt. Pat, what a great idea, a great program. How did it all get started?
Well, we're concerned about people getting outdoors, young people getting outdoors in particular, and we thought if we could make it easier by providing free fishing in all 66 Minnesota state parks. There's one within about a half an hour's drive of everybody in Minnesota, so that literally puts a free fishing opportunity in everybody's backyard, essentially around the state.
Well, you hit on it, 66 state parks, and I'm looking at the map, I think almost every one of them has a river or lake, some sort of body of water.
Right,
connected.
just about every single one of them does have a river or lake so that you have that free fishing opportunity. And you can fish from shore or from a fishing pier. And what I have today is a picture of a guy who caught a fish from shore.
That's a really big walleye. Look out, you're getting attacked by it.
Oh, look at it, it's that big.
Jim, we've got a live walleye here. Help us out. Let's talk about this a little bit because, yeah, not all shore fishing is about panfish. This gentleman caught this, what, 28-inch walleye?
You got it.
From shore.
Yep, at Big Stone Lake State Park, right from the campground shore.
I hear the tires squealing. Everyone's headed towards Big Stone right now. That's a great walleye. Well, let's talk about how it works. It's pretty basic. You just, if you buy a pass, you go camping to a state park or a day pass, you fish for free.
Right. You have to have a vehicle permit to get into the park.
Okay.
If you drive in, if you walk in or bike in or something, you don't need to have a vehicle permit. But it's $25 for an annual permit, $5 for the daily. You get to fish for free. You do have to follow the fishing regulations for that individual lake.
Here's
so we've
what
got
they look like. Yep, these
that's
are the
the fishing
regs.
regs. And we've actually translated them into Spanish now. So you can go online at mnstateparks.info and you can get the Spanish version of it as well.
Yeah, so pay attention to the regs. Okay, state parks fishing is free. If you fish outside the state parks, you're gonna need a license.
Exactly.
And that's what we're hoping here. You're gonna get hooked on it. No pun intended.
Yeah, we're hoping that.
If you've got a boat, or if you want to rent a watercraft, that's available as well. And there are boat launches at most of these parks, right?
Most parks have a boat launch, Rob, yes. And then we also have canoes and kayaks available for a lot of the parks. I would steer people to the website again or call the individual park to find out whether or not we have the rowboats, canoes, or kayaks available. We also have free loaner equipment at a few state parks right now, at Fort Snelling State Park here in the Twin Cities, William O'Brien State Park, Bearhead Lake State Park. So if you don't even have the rod and reel and the tackle, you can ask to borrow that for free at the state park.
Very nice. Okay, and then mnstateparks.info, you can get more information on it. Let's speak to the people out there that maybe want to get their kids into fishing. They don't fish themselves.
Right.
Do you have any type of seminars or classes?
Yes, we do.
You're going to ask me my secret spots, I know.
We are, yes. And with kids, it's not all about the size. Yes, you can have these kind of big walleye opportunities, but if you've ever seen an 8 or a 9 or a 10-year-old catch their first sunny off a fishing pier or the shore, their eyes just get huge. It is priceless. And we've got programs where we'll show you how to fish if you don't know how to fish.
Other fishing programs you've got the Take a Mom Fishing, and that's Mother's Day.
Right.
Take a Kid Fishing, both in the summer and winter.
Yes.
And now the free fishing in the state parks.
Yes, we want to get people outdoors and get them hooked on fishing.
Twist my arm, bend it just a little bit. Love it. Thank you so much, Pat. Great program. Come back again. Looking for those leaves. Those leaves are going to start changing colors pretty quick. You'll be back for that.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, to find out more about any of Minnesota's state parks, as I mentioned, just log on to Showcase Minnesota and click on the Friday link. We're going to check in with Corbin now for a little more on the show. Corbin, what do you got?
Thanks, Mr. Rob. Now to one of the Twin Cities' biggest and best summer events, the 70th annual Aquatennial set sail today, and here to tell us what's in store. This is the festival director, Leah Wong. Hi, Leah. Hello. We have so many fun things to get through. I wanted to start out with how the festival got started in the first place 70 years ago.
Yes, so the festival founders were actually on a trip in Winnipeg, and they were there for their festival and the parade, and thought, we need to do this for Minneapolis. We need to showcase our beautiful city. We have a lot to be proud of, and we want people to come to the city.
Well, and because wasn't the Queen of England coming to Winnipeg or something?
She was.
It seems
She was
like I
coming
read
to the Winnipeg Festival and was in the parade that they were there to watch.
You all never got her for our parade, I assume.
We have not, no.
There are many fun trivia facts. One is that there was no festival during 1941-42. World War II was happening. And in 2007, the Queen of Lakes resigned because her National Guard unit was called up. That probably never happened before. Also, the fireworks, 10,000 pounds of explosive 45 miles of wire. Wow. What else have you brought here today that we can show? Should I show this?
Sure. That is the program guide from the very first Aquatennial.
Yeah.
And every year we have created a guide that explains what is happening during Aquatennial and what all of the events are for people to partake in and join in the official civic celebration of our city.
Well, and I was looking through this, and it's everything to do with the outdoor life that we treasure and love. This costs 10 cents those days. And you've got here this giant book of clippings. What's this about?
Correct. This is the press clipping book from the very first Aquatennial. And so all of the clippings from that year are held in this book and stored at the Hennepin History Museum.
Oh, fabulous. So anyone can go and see this?
Anyone can go and see, and also the Hennepin History Museum will be doing a tribute to our 70th at the Star Tribune Beach Bash on Sunday, so they could come there and see as well.
Excellent, excellent. Now, down in front here, we have what looks like a Commodore's cap.
You are very correct.
Is that right?
This was the Commodore's cap from the very first Aquatennial.
Mm-hmm. And all these boots are made for walking. Who was wearing these?
Eva Brunsson, who was the Queen of the Lakes, and the theme during this Aquatennial was the Wild West. And so she was outfitted with cowboy boots to fit in with the theme.
Yeah, it's very fun to see all this stuff. Where's all this kept usually?
All of this is kept at the Hennepin History Museum, and then they have rotating exhibits that go up to showcase.
And now, you're going to tell us about what's coming up this weekend, and you can pick up this guide. If you didn't already get it in your newspaper, you can pick it up at any event, there you go, that you go to. Tell us what's going to be happening.
Correct. So tonight, we kick off with a Labor Neighborhood Block Party. It's downtown Minneapolis on Nicollet Mall between 3rd and 4th Streets. 5 p.m. to 11 p.m. It features Gin Blossoms with local bands Lamont Cranston Band and Rocket Club, and it is completely free, and so we encourage people to come down and celebrate with us.
Yeah.
And then on Sunday, we have the Star Tribune Beach Bash, which is out at Lake Calhoun, Thomas Beach. It runs from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., and that features the Land O'Lakes Sandcastle competition and the beloved milk carton boat races.
My daughter heard that on a commercial or somewhere on TV, and Mom, we have to go, because it is a blast, and like you say, it is beloved. You can also pick up your Aquatennial pin. People collect these. This one is, what, $5?
Correct.
And where can you get them?
You can get them online, or you can get them at any of the flagship events.
Okay, well, start your collection, maybe with your kids, or add to your collection you already have. Nice to see you. And I'll see you at the boat races, milk carton races probably. The 70th annual Minneapolis Aquatennial kicks off today and runs through Saturday, July the 25th. For more information on all the events, log on to showcaseminnesota.com, and we've created a link. Coming up next, an inspiring story about beating the odds. We'll chat with the authors of The Power of Two right after this.
Welcome back to the show. 10 years ago, our next guest was diagnosed with brain cancer and given only 6 months to live. Yet Brian Monaghan decided that he was going to do everything he could to fight the disease, and after successful surgeries and treatments, he's now cancer-free. He and his wife, Gerri, tell their amazing story of hope and survival in their book, The Power of Two, and we are happy to welcome them to the show this morning to tell us more. Good morning to both of you. Thank you for dropping by.
Thanks, Ron.
Quite a journey for you both, I imagine. Brian, let's start with you. How has it changed your relationship?
Well, right now, I'm responsible for the weather, and Gerri does everything else. And she's good at it.
Well, being in San Diego, that's not too much, because I've lived there. I know it never changes. But seriously, I mean, it must have had a profound effect on your relationship going throughout the battle.
I think it did. It probably brought us closer. A disease like this can tear you apart, or it can bring you closer. We had only been married 3 years when this all happened, and we had plans in mind that we were going to spend a great life together, and suddenly we were in for the fight of our lives. But he was worth fighting for.
Absolutely. Brian, tell us about the day that you got your diagnosis.
Well, it was March.
May?
May, I'm sorry, May of 1998. And I was doing great. As far as I was concerned, I thought everything was fine. Gerri had insisted that I have a second opinion to check things out. And I was fine. I was in my office, and I got a phone call. I picked up the phone. A doctor who I knew well said, Brian, I want you to come to my office right away. And don't drive. And those words, don't drive, rattled me. And I later found out that I had melanoma in my brain, 2 tumors. I also had in my lymph nodes, and I was stage 4, and there's no stage 5.
Right, right. We all know the end result there. Difficult being a cancer patient. I can only imagine the battle and the pain you went through. How about for the wife and for other wives and other partners out there? What's the battle like for you and your advice for others?
As an advocate, first of all, I tell every advocate, you are not responsible for the outcome, either successful or unsuccessful. You can only do so much, and you need to be gentle with yourself. You need to take care of yourself, because hopefully you're going to be in for a long marathon, not just a sprint.
You were you were telling me you wrote the book so you could pay it forward for other people that are going through the same thing. What was your support system? Who did you have to turn to?
I had some former advocates. I find that someone who has been through the same thing that you have is often the person who can best understand. There are days when you get tired.
Right.
There are days when you're angry, and you need someone who has been in the same boat. We all, as advocates, need to pay that forward and reach out to the next one, because we're all in this together.
Well, you have some tips with you that you wrote in the book, and certainly we want to get to those. Let's talk about those and some of the most important things that you tell people, and we should have them on the screen. And your first tip is trust your intuition and create a battle plan.
Well, I think Brian mentioned the intuition. I knew that the first doctor was wrong when he said Brian was fine. He's a trial lawyer. He was forgetting words, mixing up things. And I trusted my intuition. We all need to do that. Battle plan, I sat down that first night and wrote out on a yellow sheet of paper the categories. What is melanoma? Who can help us? Just ordinary things. I approached it kind of like a problem-solving thing. I was frozen, and I needed to move forward. And the way to do that was to do something that was an action. And hopefully the 50 tips in the book are kind of a roadmap for the people who come behind us.
Okay, you've got to create a battle plan. You also say get copies of your records.
That's one of those silly things. Everybody, you go to a doctor and you think they own the records, or they own the MRI. They don't. When you go up to the receptionist desk, say, I'd like another copy of the MRI, they can print it right up.
You can get those?
Absolutely.
It's usually in a disc. They just hand you a disc.
Yeah, I had no idea. I love this next tip because this pertains to everyone, and make your doctor speak so you can understand them.
Yeah.
And that's important for any trip to the doctor.
When you're on emotional overload with a diagnosis like this, you really can't understand them at all. You don't even hear them. but you need to make them talk to you in a language, and you don't nod. We all do that. The doctor talks and we all go, mm-hmm.
Am I doing that now?
No.
I'm listening, Gerri.
Okay,
I'm listening.
but we need to keep narrowing it. Keep saying, I'm sorry, doctor, I don't understand that. Can you tell me what you're talking about?
Ask questions, absolutely. And remember, their final tip, remember, this is not a dress rehearsal.
You got it. Yeah.
What do you do to remind yourself? I mean, obviously the news in its own must be enough.
Well, waking up in the morning, you're alive for 11 years later. We have grandchildren, 7 grandkids that we've never seen before. I've been to 3 wonderful wakes, Irish wakes, and they were all for me.
Right, that must be a surreal feeling.
I've had a wonderful life.
Yeah,
You know?
I read that you're doing well now.
Absolutely.
Everything you've been through, we're
Everything's
looking
great.
at photos now, and you really went through your own hell, and you're doing great now, cancer-free, and this is a great picture here.
That's 4 of the 7 grandchildren.
That you got to know and have a relationship with.
They're fabulous.
Thank you both for coming in.
Thanks for having us.
Certainly is a courageous story and an inspiration as well. You bet. Gerri and Brian Monaghan's book, The Power of Two, is available in bookstores everywhere. Straight ahead, the soothing sounds of Twin Cities' own Days of Ray, so please stay tuned.
Where I'm defenseless, it's worse than I imagined, baby. What you must